Hello, hello. Oh, there you go. Got the mic up. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing today? I hope you are all doing absolutely wonderful. I hope your week is going well. I hope you are getting things done. I hope you are being creative and having an absolutely wonderful time. I am trying not to cough as we speak. I'm holding one in. In fact, I'm going to let it go. Ah, the joys of the crud. And I see that my brother Justin is ready, so we will be pulling him in a second. Let's see here. Hello to everybody in our chat room. Hello to our Facebook friends and family. Hello to the gang over at YouTube. Hello, Jordan. Hey, if you're watching this on Facebook Live, say hi in the comments. I'd love to see who's here. Let me go check on the YouTube. The YouTube. I'm going to go check on the YouTubes. The tubes of views. Want to make sure it's running over there. Tim Timbles. Tim. Hi, Tim. How you doing, brother? I'm glad you're here. I am glad you're here, old boy. I need to have you on the show. Need to have you on the show so that we can talk worship and technology and all the good stuff having to do with that. All right. We are almost ready. I want to make sure that J Diddy is on, and he's not. Let me call him again. There you. Whoop. Where'd you go? I saw you. I'm calling you again. All right, I'm gonna call him back. Are you there?
Yes, can you hear me?
Hey, there you are.
All right.
All right. Speak up for me.
We're back.
There. Oh, awesome. Sorry about that. All right, so we have Justin. He is here being as awesome as ever.
Awesomer, because I got away from the window there.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Hopefully it looks a little bit better.
Yeah, let's see. What do you guys think? Justin is in the process of putting together his studio. He's CTAing up the place, live streamificating the place. He's moved his desk, got some space between him and the wall. He's got a light set up, and now we got
two lights because I got a shadow.
Yeah,
nice good old shadow following me around.
Yep. We need to get a light over there on your left side, and then we need to get like a hair light to help separate you from the background a little bit. We got to get a bookcase and put all your cool geekery behind you.
Oh, I know.
Let's see.
That is on the list. You guys got to give me a couple months to get it all together.
Yes, it is an ongoing project. Let's see here. All right, I think I'm about ready. Let's see what's going on in the chat room. Let's see. Hey, Justin, say hi to Tim Tibbles. He is the, well, I don't know what to call you, Tim, because you're not the official music minister over at Pantego. You're the band, worship band pastor of the worship band. You're the music guy. What are you? What are you, Tim? Tim is awesome. Tim always comes and does the music, the worship over at our Disciple Now when we have it. He's really, really good. I mean, he's really good. I've taken some pictures and stuff of him that I'll be using as backdrops and art and things like that, examples on the CTA site.
Yeah, that Romans 12:1 music sounds really familiar. I don't know why. I thought I followed it on Instagram, but I don't. I do now. So what's up, Tim? Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, okay, so he's worship pastor / creative arts director. There you go.
That's great.
Yeah, and he's...
Tim, in case you didn't know, I'm actually a church music major. When it was still my plan, I was going to be a music pastor and worship pastor.
So and, I didn't know that. You sing?
Everything away from that.
I didn't know that. You sing? You're musically inclined?
I try. I'm more of an instrumentalist.
What do you play? Here I am. I've saddled my future. I've saddled my future to you, and I didn't know that you're a musician.
Yeah, well, it's a learning thing. You know, I slowly reveal myself to you just a little bit at a time.
As any good marriage should.
That's what I studied at Mary Hardin Baylor was church music. So I had a mix of music classes and ministry classes, and I started as a music intern, or whatever you want to call it, music intern, worship intern, and I slowly started adding in. That's kind of how I got here. I slowly started adding in things like videos in the worship, starting adding in. Formed a drama team, and we just found that those things really connected, and eventually it was like, okay, guys, we built a band that can kind of run itself. So you just focus on video and basically AV. And I was doing more of the creative stuff. I had volunteers actually running the board and running the video. I just kind of oversaw all of them. And then one day it was, the lead pastor came up and said, I want you to do this full time for the church. So I was like, cool. It was actually a month after I got married. A month after I graduated. So in 2011, that was a big year for me. I graduated in May. I got married I got hired on full time in June. Then I got married in July. So I grew up a ton in that one summer.
Yeah, you think?
Yeah, I couldn't wait to get on with my life.
That's awesome.
So, I was actually a worship pastor, or a worship intern, music intern, and had every intent of just being a worship pastor and a music pastor, and I still have a huge heart for music ministry and worship ministry, and a lot of times those go hand in hand. But God kind of pulled me over to the media and IT side of things and said, no, this is where I want you. So, which is fine, because originally I wanted to be a meteorologist. I was a huge weather nerd in high school.
Meteorologist. Nice.
Yeah. God called me to ministry, and I thought, well, I'm good at music, so I'll just do music ministry. And
a meteorologist.
And graduated with that, but then God pulled me aside and said, no, let's do stuff online. So here I am.
Well, here you are. And you and I are trying to make stuff happen.
Yep, absolutely.
All right, guys, we're going to get started here. Justin, do you have your 3 or 5 or however many productivity apps?
Yep, I got 5.
Yeah, I got 5 too. All right, we're just going to
go back and forth and
just going to overload these folks.
Ask each other questions, because there's some of yours that I hadn't heard of.
Okay.
Or at least, and then when I looked them up, I thought, I don't know what I would use that for. So I'm curious how you can help me with my workflow and my church's workflow.
Okay.
Especially with, you'll notice mine are really collaborative tools,
right?
Because especially right now, I'm not on staff, so I'm not in the church every day.
Right.
So I really rely on those tools to communicate and keep on top of things with the church staff and volunteers that we have. We're mainly a volunteer-led church. We actually only have 3 full-time staff. So, and 2 of those are administrative.
Mm-hmm.
We're supposed to have 2 pastors. We're in an interim period right now, so we only have 1 youth pastor. So, So there's a lot of collaboration that has to happen. So we really rely on those. So that's what I have for us today.
Very cool. Okay. Well, let's get started. Before we jump in fully, I want to just double check because I'm doing the I've got you on my browser, and then I've got our tools and stuff over there. Would you mind writing shotgun on the chat room, please, sir?
Yeah, as always, I'll be there.
Okay.
Keeping everyone straight, straight and on target. Yeah, if y'all got any questions or anything, just like before we get started, just like I've been saying the last couple of weeks, you guys have been amazing that watch our live streams. Smash that like button if there's something that you really agree with or you love or laugh with. Laugh with us. Hit those buttons at the bottom of Facebook. And if you share it as well, share the video. I see we already have one share on Facebook, or just send the YouTube video to someone. Just send them a message. Just let them know that they're watching. This show is really for everyone. Our shows kind of are for the tech people or the media people, or the marketing people, the communicators. But today it's for everyone. Everyone can benefit from the tools we're talking about today. So this is a great one to share. So hit that share button. In fact, I'm going to hit mine right now.
Yes, everybody share. Everybody share. Please, please, please. We're trying to grow our audience and grow our membership in CTA and grow our community so that we can all be helping each other. We want to share the wealth of knowledge and experience that each of us has in the various disciplines that we're in. And we want to also increase our own knowledge and continue to grow as creatives, as worship pastors, as youth leaders, and everybody that uses the creative arts in one way or the other to help spread the gospel. So let's get started here. We're going to officially start the show. And I would ask that you guys please forgive me for my funky voice. I am getting over a sickness. I'm getting over the crud. It's that time of year where the temperature changes by 20 to 25 degrees on a daily basis. So I'm sounding kind of ugly and nasty today, and I will try to spare you guys from any of the weird sounds that I may come up with. So if you see me step away for a sec, it's because I'm coughing my brains out. All right, let's get started. Like that. Today on Church Training Academy, we are going to be talking about... Let me try that one more time. Today on CTA Live, we're going to be talking about your absolute must-have, can't live without. I can't do my job if I don't use these tools and apps. And it's all coming up right now. Hey guys, welcome to CTA Live. I am your host, Dave Curley. I am the founder of CTA Live, and with me, as always, is my intrepid, lovely, and talented partner. Let's see. Is there any other really cool adjectives I can give to you, Justin?
Splendiferous is a good one.
Splendiferous partner, Justin, the man, Nava.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Thanks for watching. Appreciate you. We're going to have a lot of good time today.
Yes, we are. Today, we're going to be talking about tools and apps and things like that we use that are kind of our must-have things that we need to. Before we even do that, if you're new here, if you haven't, if you've just sort of stumbled across this, or scrolling through Facebook and said, hey, there's Dave Curley, what's he doing? I want to tell you what Church Training Academy is. We're basically a community and a website that are dedicated to learning how to use and exploit media and technology in order to fulfill the Great Commission. As Christians, that's what we're called to do. Right before he left, he said, go share the gospel, and then he took off. And so that's what we're charged with doing, is spreading the gospel and doing it in ways that are the most effective ways possible, whether it's one-to-one or whether it's one-to-many, whether it's through a digital medium or whether it's broadcast medium or whatever. We're here to learn how to share the gospel, equip and train the body of Christ with all the media and technologies, and help them to exploit the heck out of it in order to fulfill the Great Commission. So if you guys are wanting to learn how to do anything like that, if social media is new to you, or seems confusing, or seems like this big wall of junk that, how do I even get into this? It's all a bunch of gobbledygook, and I don't know what to do. That's what we're here to teach you how to do. Same thing with podcasting. Same thing with live streaming. Same thing with using photography and creative arts and stuff to help amplify the message that is in your worship service or on your website or on your Facebook page. We want to teach you guys how to do all that sort of stuff. And we also want to learn from you about how to do all sorts of stuff like that. So usually about this time, Justin, we break in and give a tool tip or something that is useful that you or I use. However, we're kind of not doing that today because the whole episode is kind of one great big tool tip, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, absolutely.
So when it comes to the work that you do, well, first off, did you come up with any kind of criteria for how you were going to give these tips or these tools or these apps as you're going to show these? Because mine are kind of a hodgepodge.
Yeah, mine are too. Mine are really getting things done.
Okay.
And a lot of them are collaborative tools. I was saying before the show that, I don't have a full-time position at the church right now. So I am not on campus every day. And in fact, much of our church is volunteer led. We're a church of about 250, and we only have right now 3 full-time staff. And for some people that might say, wow, that's a lot of staff. And I know for other churches like my previous church, they would say that's not a lot of staff. We have typically 2 full-time pastoral staff and then 2 full-time administrative staff. We're down one, our lead pastor. So we're in an interim period. So we have multiple ministries that are volunteer led, including our children's ministry. So a lot of the tools that I'm going to share today are collaborative because we're in a lot of different places, and a lot of our ministry leaders are, bivocational or just, part-time ministry leaders,
right,
or just during their volunteer time. So the tools that I have here are kind of what keep us together, keep us gelling together throughout the week, because we don't see everyone every day. My first church job for 10 years, I was on campus, and everyone that led a ministry was on campus every day with me.
Right.
And so we would just walk down the hall and talk to each other or give each other a phone call. We really didn't need tools like this. But this new world that I'm in of not being on campus is brand new. So I've had to find tools to really help us help each other out and help us communicate and do ministry well. So that's what I got today.
Okay. Well, let's get into your first one. What do you got?
So my first one is a little bit like your first one, but I like that I get to go first because mine is predominantly free and available to just anyone, and that's called Google Keep. And you can get there by going to keep.google.com or just Google or just search Google Keep. And what it is it's really simple. It's a note-taking app. There are many note-taking apps. In fact, Dave has one that he's going to share that I used to use, but I really like Google Keep because I use a variety of devices. Like I said, I'm at church one day, I'm at my office another day, I'm at my home office another day. Other days, I'm just working in the living room because my wife's in our home office doing school stuff. So I'm across multiple devices, and I need to sync my notes, my memories, my ideas. I need to sync them across a bunch of devices. Just in those different instances, I'm talking about 5 devices. And I work out of my Google account a lot. So Google Keep was kind of a natural first step for me to try. I like it because it's basically just a notebook where you can have multiple pages of notes. It's super simple. A lot of note apps go really complicated, and that's not a bad thing. But if you haven't been able to tell, I am a simple guy. I just like things that work. And so Google Keep just works. I take a note on my phone and I can get it on my computer at home. Or I take a note on my phone, I can walk across the room and I can see it on my iPad. You can have just unlimited notes. You can pin notes to the top. So the super important notes that I use every day, like for example, my different Instagram hashtags that I have keeping in my notes. I have those pinned to the top. So every day when I do an Instagram post, I can just go into my Google Keep, go to the very first, it's almost like a sticky note, and just copy my hashtags and throw them into Instagram. So they're really easy. And if I need it, the app is fast. It's right on my phone. I just pull it up, start typing a new note, and it's super simple and it syncs everywhere. And then of course you can also share notes. So if I have some sermon notes that I want to share, and our administrative assistant says, or our pastor secretary says, hey, what are you posting to social this week? I can just copy the notes that I have already, because I'll kind of just jot down some ideas during the sermon. I can just send those to him and say, hey, check these out. These are kind of 5 posts I have the sermon this week. And so he can kind of say, okay, so we do have 2 announcements. I see you kind of have a lot of stuff already picked out, so let's just do one. He can add a quick note, and then it automatically syncs with my Google Keep. So that's my first tool, just keeping my ideas all together. If I ever have an idea like, oh, I need to talk about this with Dave, I'll just jot it down right there. And then when Dave and I have our meetings, you know, I can just say, okay, what else did I need to talk about? And I can actually just pull it up and do it real quick. I'm one of those guys that I cannot rely on past Justin I cannot rely on future Justin to remember what I'm past Justin is thinking.
Right. Yeah.
So if I don't write it down right now, I'm going to forget it. So that is a lifesaver for me. I basically live out of my phone, and Google Keep is one of the most important apps that I use.
Awesome.
It's super simple, but it works. That's my first pick.
Awesome. Yes. Google Keep. I use that as well. I use it mainly for checklists and things like that. That's what I dominantly use it for. My first one. Hang on, I'm gonna have a coughing fit here, so I'm gonna cut back to you for a sec.
Hope everyone's having a great Thursday.
Okay, there you go. Sorry about that, guys. Live TV. All right. My first one is similar to Justin's. It is called Evernote. Evernote is a freemium app. So you can start using Evernote for free, or you can pay a few dollars a month and get more ability with it. Not necessarily the note-taking ability, but the ability to like use storage and stuff like that. What Evernote is, in fact, let's see. I want to make sure I'm not like showing you things I'm not supposed to show you. I think we're okay. The whole idea behind Evernote, the idea that they came up with was basically let us be your brain, let us be your memory for you. And they designed the app so that you could just basically take any kind of information that you have and toss it into your Evernote trunk and maybe tag it by, a certain, like bills or ideas or blog posts or, just whatever. And then when it comes time for you to retrieve that information, you could either search on something that is in that information, like in the body of an article or something like that, or by the tags that you use. So if you're like, one of the things I use Evernote for is when I get a piece of software or get a, subscribe to a service or something like that, I will go in there and make a note and put in my username and the password and maybe the link to download the app and a few other pieces of information like that. So let's say I want to, I need to install ScreenFlow on my laptop, and so I'll go. It's like, what's the password for my ScreenFlow account? Okay, well, I'll just log into Evernote, go in there, and type in ScreenFlow, and all of a sudden, any of the notes that have the word ScreenFlow in it come up, and it's like, that's the one right there, and I'll copy it and paste it in, and continue moving forward. It's really cool. What's neat about Evernote, and I'll show you. Let me change over here. What's really cool about Evernote is that they let you do other types of things. So you can put in now that this is all my sensitive information. So I'm gonna try to be very selective about what I show you here because I do have really sensitive information. But like bills. So I'm gonna go to bills here, and we can go to let's see. Time Warner, and I can open up that notebook, and in there these are screen captures that I've done of my Time Warner bill, and it shows how much I made a payment to and all that, and these are scrapes basically from the page. Now, one of the things that you can do in here is if you have like a PDF file, if you download say your download a manual for the soundboard, then you could go in and make a note that is, the SD9 soundboard, and then you can type in their manual for SD9 soundboard and take that PDF, drag it, and drop it in, and now that PDF is stored in that note. And what's really cool is that Evernote will go through that PDF and use OCR, which is optical character recognition, and it will index basically all of the words and letters and everything in there, so that if you want to if you need to find out how to use one of the inputs. You could just let's say you open up that PDF there and you type in input, and then it's going to show you all the pages in there that have the word input on it, and then you can go and find what you need to do. Evernote is really cool. You can keep audio files, you can keep video files. Keeping Evernote on your phone, they've got a little app that, like a little toolbar if you're an Android user, that you can say, take an audio note, and boop, you take an audio note and say, hey, be sure to pick up this, that, and the other, and then drop it into Evernote. It automatically files it. I scan receipts through Evernote. I can scan business cards, and it'll organize them into contact information and stuff. Evernote is really cool. I like it. And I think I pay like $5 a month for it for some of the extra services. So I highly, highly recommend it. Justin, do you use Evernote ever?
So I was just saying in the Facebook chat, I used to, I'm getting a little bit of okay, there we go. I used to use Evernote. I used it pretty heavily. Man, it was probably 2 or 3 years ago. And that's when they made the change to the pricing model where you can get 2 device syncs for free.
Right.
And then after, if you wanted more than that, then you would need to pay for the plan. And it's not expensive. It's a great app. And there are many times that I wish I had those features, but I just wasn't at the place to pay. And I was like, let me try Google Keep. And I think I had an Android at the time. And so I said, let me just try that. And I just kind of stayed with Google Keep and just never found a real good reason to go back to Evernote.
Cool. All right.
Myself.
All right. So what is your next one?
My next one is keeping along with the with my Google theme here is actually G Suite. And that's Google's version of online Office, basically. Microsoft Office, Word, PowerPoint, Excel. Google has their own version of that called G Suite. It's actually probably more relatable with Microsoft Office 365, the online version of Microsoft Office.
Let's clarify real quick, because Google, as a Google user, if you have a Gmail account, you automatically have access to Google Docs and Sheets and Google Photos, and you can buy storage space for Google Drive. You can do all of that sort of stuff. So you do not have to have G Suite in order to do this. However, if you're a business like we are, he and I are partners, and we've got our little business here that we're running, Church Training Academy, if you haven't heard of it. We have set up a G Suite for us, much like an Office 365 business account, where we would have access to Word and Excel and PowerPoint and Exchange and all that sort of stuff. So this is Google's answer to it in a business format, which lets us take not just our Gmail addresses, our email addresses, but actually tied to our domain. So dave@churchtrainingacademy.com goes into the Gmail client inside G Suite. So I just wanted to specify, but free, you have all this, but it's all done through a .gmail.com email address. When you pay for it, then you can actually start using your own domain and such. So go ahead, continue, sir.
Yes, so you get that with G Suite. So it is the business version of your personal Google account. You don't actually have to have a business if you want to do G Suite just to have your own email address. So for example, I have the email address justin@justinnava.com. You can't just create a Google account for free and then link it to your domain name. You would use a G Suite account, which gives you the business class version of the Google tools. Now, where this really comes in handy, and we actually did a huge campaign and switched in our last church to G Suite, because G Suite, even though it costs me and Dave $10 a month per user or $5 a month per user on the light plan, G Suite is actually totally free for nonprofits, which includes churches. So if you're a church with a 501(c), you can actually get G Suite for free for unlimited users. So no matter how large your church is or how many volunteers you want to bring on, that you want to have, say you're verticalchurch.org or whatever, if you want to have an email for your committees, if you want to have an email for your staff, if you even want to have an email for your volunteers, your really important volunteers, if you want them to have your own email, you can create a separate email box for each of those. Then they also each get access to the Google Docs, Google Excel, Google Sheets, Google Slides, and the Google Drive. So you can set up a Google Drive, which is kind of like, if you're, again, in the Microsoft world, it's called a SharePoint. You can set up a team drive and share files across with one another. you can create internal sites. I guess that's more like a SharePoint with your team. And again, it's absolutely free. So what that does is, especially if you're on different devices, we were mostly Mac at my church, but we also had a few Windows users, and the private school that was on campus was also Windows. So if we ever had to share files with another, it was real tough because Macs, had Pages, and the Windows had Word. Well, if we just we switched everything to Google, to G Suite, and then everyone had just worked out of Google. So it was all online. It wasn't on your computer. It didn't depend on what device you were on. If you were on your tablet, if you were on your Mac, if you were on your PC, you just went to Google. It was one place that you can go. All your stuff saved in the cloud. All your stuff is auto saved. And then Google has really grown their usage of, they have really professional looking slides. A lot of like professional YouTubers that do slide decks do it in Google Slides. Sheets is amazing. It is a little pared down compared to Excel. So if you're doing advanced accounting spreadsheets or whatever, it may not be a right fit. But if you're just me and you're just keeping track of attendance, or you're keeping track of ministry numbers, Sheets is a super easy way to do it in there, and a super easy way to share it. Because again, it's all in the cloud. So if you share an Excel sheet or a Google sheet, so for example, our ministry numbers, and I send it out to ministry leaders, they can actually open up the browser, go to the sheet, and then just change the number. They don't have to save it. They don't have to change the number and then email it back to me. It's all live. Everyone can edit it at the same time. It is very much similar to Office 365. The reason that I dislike Google is because Google has a little bit more reliability in my experience with handling everything togetherness.
Yep.
We have Microsoft Office at my day job at the university, and there's a lot of headaches that I have there that I just don't have with Google, especially when it comes to OneDrive.
Yes,
if I can,
agree.
I despise OneDrive
Yep.
with a passion, but Google Drive has never failed me. So that's why I always go back to Google. Microsoft does great stuff, but I don't know what it is. OneDrive just seems to always be lacking. So that's why I like Google G Suite. And again, it's free for nonprofits, which includes churches. So that's my number 2 tool.
Fantastic. That is great. And I agree wholeheartedly with your tool. We're using G Suite with Church Training Academy, and you and I both have been using Google Docs and Google Drive and all that for years. So yeah, the Google suite of tools we really, really like. All right, so my next one is called LastPass, and I'm gonna show you. I'll just show you their site here real quick. LastPass. Okay, what this is a password vault, basically. What LastPass does is gives you a place to keep all of your passwords that you can easily access. And when I say easily access, I mean you can easily access it, not someone else, okay? They don't even have your passwords. They encrypt it. You have a key here, wherever you are on your device or whatever, you have part of a key, they have part of a key. You're the only one who's able to see it. They explicitly tell you, hey, when you're setting up the master password for your account, you need to remember this because we can't give it to you. The only thing we can do is help you reset it. But that's it. And getting it reset is a chore, is a huge chore. Doing a password vault gives you the ability to have really, really, really secure passwords, okay? Especially if you let them generate it. So some websites, one second. Some websites, you want to really lock down the security, like your banking website, right? You don't want anybody trying to get in there and get your stuff. So what you can do is, if you're at Chase and you're creating your account, your online account, you can put in your username, and then if you have LastPass installed, and it's just a extension that runs in your browser, and it's an app that runs on your portable device. And basically, what it does is when it gets to a field where name or password are, it gives you a little emblem in each of those fields. And if you click that emblem, it can show you what name that you want to drop in that box. So Dave Curley, drop it in there, and then if you have a password associated with that name, it'll be like, do you want to use the password that's associated with the name Dave Curley? And you'll be like, for this website, no, I want to generate and fill. So generate a new password. You can go in there and tell it, I want it to be 9 characters. I want it to be 183 characters. I want it to be readable. Okay. I want it to be not readable. I want it to have special characters. I don't want to have special characters, only numbers and alphas. You can give it these sort of things. And then it will generate it and put it in there and put it in the confirm your password field, and you're done. When it comes time to log into that again, if you have the browser extension running, when you get in there, it will pop up and say, "Hey, do you want to throw this information into the thing?" Yes. Boom. You do it, and there it is, and you log in. Now, what's cool is the only password you actually have to remember is the one that you set up your LastPass account with, okay? So my LastPass account password is like 40-something characters. It's like a couple of sentences worth of stuff, okay? Something that I will remember, but no one else will be able to do, so they can't hack in. Also, on your phone, so that you don't have to type in 40-something characters, in my case, to log into LastPass, it lets you authenticate and then put in a code. It's like a PIN code, like your PIN code at the bank. So on your phone, you can just type in your PIN code, and boom, it's available, and you can browse through your vault, change passwords, do all sorts of stuff. Highly recommended. LastPass is really, really cool. Justin, do you use LastPass?
I do. I actually just started it. I finally bit the bullet at the beginning of this year, and I have not regretted a single moment of it.
It's great. Their free service is great. Their paid service is even better.
I haven't invested in the free service yet, and the paid service yet.
It's cool. So, tell me what's your next one, sir?
So my next one is really getting down into the getting stuff done, and this is Trello. Now, the Trello is a very basic, but also very useful. Again, it's simple to use, and that's what I like about it. It's a very useful organizational tool to write down either your projects or your goals or just things you want to get done in a visual format, because I'm a visual guy. I like to I'm actually really a tactile learner, if you want to get into the nitty gritty of it. And so I like to be able to see things, to move things, to have actual interaction with what I'm doing. And Trello gives me the way to do that with the things that I need to get done. So what it is, it's a graphical layout where you create boards, kind of like a pin board, but you have multiple boards. And so you can pin different items, different objects to each board, and you define what those boards are. So if you're not following me, let me tell you what I use it for. I use it for lists of things that I need to do. That's one board. Things that I'm working on now, that's another board, and then things that I'm done with or maybe need to be reviewed. And I just put everything under the things I need to do. So if I think of something I need to do, I need to do a website audit, I'll pin it to that board. I need to have a meeting with Dave, I'll pin it to that board. I need to finish the 5th lesson of the website course, I'll pin it to that board. And then when I decide that, okay, what am I going to do next? Right now, I am working on a website audit. So I move it over to the things I'm doing right now. And that way, if I start the website audit and then I get distracted or my daughter needs me or time's up and I'm not done, it stays right there. So when I come back home or I come back to my computer, it may be hours later, and I am notorious for starting a whole new project. And so if I'm not careful, I'll have like 5 projects going on at the same time, and I'll forget about one because I started it and never finished it. I'm terrible with that. What Trello does is I can go back to Trello and I can say, oh yeah, I am working on that website audit. And so I can just pick up right where I left off. It's also collaborative. You can share with teams. Dave and I use it, and we have different ideas that we put in there. We have actually boards for ideas. So we just put ideas under each board, ideas for the website, ideas for courses, ideas for blogs or podcasts. And then as we knock it off, we just check it off. We don't actually move it over somewhere else. We just kind of check it off. It's done. And so it's a really graphical way to organize what I want to do and get done. There's other ways to use it, but honestly, I haven't used it that way. Maybe Dave, you have
Yes, I have.
a different way that you use it, but that's really what I use as a tactile way to organize my thoughts, organize the things that I need to do. And then it helps me just get things done.
It does. Trello is great. I've used Trello for years. It's one of the things that's neat when he's talking about a tactile thing. Trello has boards, and those boards have cards, and so you put these cards. So if if you want to think about it in an analog thing, it would be like if you had a bulletin board and then you had a bunch of index cards. And so this bulletin board is going to be the Get Our Website put together. So what does that involve? That involves coming up with the pages. So we are going to have a column that is going to be pages. So for the About page, for the home page, for the the sermon archive page, for this, and then you can go into that card and you can assign it to certain members of the team. Like Justin's going to be in charge of building out the home page, and then one second. And then let's say we have a document where we have written out the text. Trello interfaces with, say, Google. So I can go into Google Docs and I can write out the text that I want to have on the homepage, the marketing text and stuff, and I can put that all in there, and then I can attach it to the card for the homepage in Trello on the website board. And then when he goes in there, he can say, I've been assigned to this, okay, and here is the document with the text, and I can do that, and then he can add checklists inside that card. All that sort of stuff is really cool. We used to use this back in my GeekBeat days for doing projects and scripts. So we would have a week's worth of scripts, and each show, Monday, Tuesday, through Friday, we would have what the topic of the show is. We would have the script in there, and then we may have some notes or something for something special that needs to be done for that episode of the show. Anyway, Trello is really great. It really is. It's a very, like you said, tactile way to do it. I want to show you my next one. Do you guys, Justin, do you use PDFs?
I don't. I really don't. I keep like I said, I keep everything in Google or Google Suite. So I really don't use PDFs unless I need to make something that I want to make sure no one can edit.
Right.
So
well, I'm going to break that for you.
Or invoices, those I will PDF out. But other than that, I really don't use PDFs.
Well, okay, well, like our books and stuff, we definitely use PDFs to make our books and such.
Sure. Yeah, we don't want you to edit it, right?
Right. So if you guys don't know what PDFs are like portable. It stands for portable document format, and they are basically digital documents. Okay. So, let's look at it this way. If you've ever read an ebook on Kindle, that's basically a glorified PDF. What that is a digital book, a digital paper. The thing is, though, is that there are times when you need to, like, if somebody sends you a W-9, or you have to fill out a W-2 for a contractor. If you're a part-time church member and you're on a contract or something, and so the secretary emails you a W-2, please fill this out. Well, if it's a PDF, it's like, okay, now I got to print it, and then I'm going to fill it out, and then scan it and email it back to her, or then take it to her and stuff. You can actually do that using the software I'm going to show you. It's called Kami, K-A-M-I. There it is. So Kami. So if you go to web.kami, KAMIHQ.com, it is a plugin for Chrome, and it is fantastic. What Kami lets you do is, I'll show you. Here you go. Here's our, it scanned it. That's awesome. Here is our gear guide. Kami, for me, I've set it up so that it is my PDF viewer. So if someone emails me a PDF in Gmail, then I can click on it and it opens it up in Kami. From there, I can save it to my Google Drive, or I can save it to the desktop, or they actually have storage that you can save it in there. One of the things that is really cool about it is it lets you do things like signing. So if I get a contract from my lawyer and he needs me to sign it, he can send it here, and then I can sign it, or I can mark it up if I want. I'll show you just really quick. If I needed to, add something to here, I could do it. I could say, this logo needs to change. And if I want to go down here and take, these words are really important. Okay, there you go. You see, you're able to make changes to the PDFs, which typically are not meant to be changed. Okay, you can actually, I want to say in this, can I actually change the text? There was one I was playing with that would actually let me change the text, but this one doesn't. But I can put in a note, yo, and then when you're done, You can save it. You can send it. You can save a new copy of it, what have you. But the idea is to be able to mark up, sign, make adjustments, things like that to your PDFs. And it's just a great PDF viewer. I really, really like it. It interfaces with your Google account, so you can sign in as a Google member. And then basically, when you have a PDF in your Google Drive, you can just right-click on it and choose Open with Kami, and there you go. So have you even heard of Kami?
I have not.
It's awesome. It's cool.
That sounds awesome.
It is. I love it.
I'm going to add it to my Google, my G Suite. I'm going to add that.
All right, let's do. I know you got to get back. We got time for one more. You want to do it?
Yeah, let's run through. I got a little bit extra time today.
Okay, good.
Let's run through our last two real quick.
Yes.
My last one, or my second to last one, is Slack. What is Slack? It's a messenger tool for your team. So, we have our texts, we have our emails, and oftentimes, especially when you're a volunteer, you have church stuff come into your personal email, and you have personal emails mixed in with it, or you're getting church texts or business texts to your text, and you have personal stuff coming into there. Well, and it's hard to keep those things separated. I'm the kind of guy that likes to keep things separate. I want my business stuff in one place, and I want my personal stuff in one place. That way, if I'm on vacation or whatever, I don't have anything interrupting, or if I'm just on break, I just take a step back and say, hey guys, I need a couple of days off. I don't have anything interrupting my personal stuff. And for that, a great tool to keep it separate, but not only that, just keep everything organized, is a tool called Slack. And Slack is basically, if you want to go old school with it, it's kind of like a chat room just for your business. It's similar to the newer Microsoft Teams. Slack came first, and Microsoft said, that's a good idea, let's do it too. So they created Microsoft Teams. But I have experience in Slack. And what it is you add everyone in your organization to Slack. They have their own usernames, basically. You can direct message everyone there, but more importantly, you can create these different channels, which, if you want to think about it, they're kind of like chat rooms for different teams, for different projects. And then when you communicate through those channels, everything is saved there. When you share files, they're saved there. And so what ends up happening is, when you have your internal communications all happening on Slack, you have one place where you will find everything. So if someone, if you can create a channel for example, women's ministry, and have the women's ministry leaders in there, along with maybe the communications director, maybe the administrator. You can even make the pastor a default member of all the groups if he needs to be kept in the loop. You can have a channel for the youth ministry. You can have a channel for the basic office stuff. And we even had a channel in my last church when we switched over to just fun stuff. So instead of sending funny emails and taking up space in their inbox, or just, you have these, we just had one channel for it. And so when you were all business, none of that stuff got in the way. We like to have fun, but we like to work hard too. So what ended up happening, the reason why I recommend this and why I love this, and no one saw this coming. When I first introduced Slack in my last job, it was one of my final projects. I said, when you leave a position at anywhere really, but especially at a church, you think, what battles can I fight right now that the next guy doesn't have to? And I think one of those battles that I really felt I needed to, not really battle, but one of the things that I really wanted to implement was Slack, was a way to communicate, because we had many leaders using the personal account. We had many leaders using their email for inner office communications and external communications. And then we had many people using text. So I said, let's switch to Slack. Let's try it out. What ended up happening was we had a definitive place where we kept all of our organizational projects and communications and even files. So no longer do we have to skim through emails to find an email from last week about the Lord's Supper this coming week. We just knew it was in the service channel. It was in the Sunday service channel. We no longer had to go through emails to say, where's Lewis's email, or where's his text, or how did he send it to me, right? Sometimes you're like, did you text it to me? Did you email it to me? I don't see it. Where is it? I always knew exactly where it was. And then that turned our emails into just an external facing communications. So our email box after a few months was just external emails, which made our emails nice, neat, and organized. You can also just turn off Slack and say, hey, Slack, don't ding me after 5 p.m. And that's what many of our pastors did. And so they never got bothered when, no more emails were coming in or no more texts were coming in bothering them for stuff that they didn't have to deal with till tomorrow. But they still use their text for emergencies, but it was a nice way to organize it and keep it separate. And if you're a church that says, hey, 5 o'clock, you need to take time for your family, or on Fridays you're off, don't think about church, or Mondays or whatever, that's a great way to kind of separate that out from your personal stuff, and also a great way to just centralize your internal communication. So you're no longer saying, how did you send that file to me? Did you email it? Did you drop it in the share drive? Did you text it to, how did you send me that picture or whatever? It's all in one place. And so that's a huge one for me. That one really changed the way we talked in my last church job, and it really organized everyone and put everyone on the same page. In fact, we had one holdout. We had one guy that said, I'm retiring in 6 months and I don't want to learn a new software. And we were like, that's cool. And even he told me before he left, he's like, yeah, there were some times that I felt left out because I wasn't a part of, everyone knew, okay, got to email Phil because he's not in Slack. And he knows, he knew it. He knew it too. He was retiring. So we were just like, yeah, that's fine. We showed him some grace.
Write it down with a Sharpie and take it and put it on his desk.
That's right. So Slack, I went a little long on that, but that's because I really like that.
Yeah, software. Slack is cool. I've been using Slack off and on for years. We used it a lot with GeekBeat. We did that. In fact, we actually implemented it as a premium thing for viewers, where we had a Slack channel where the viewers could all interact with us and with themselves and stuff. And it was really neat. We kind of used it as our chat room for our live show, which was really cool too. Yeah. All right. So my next one is may not be completely applicable, depending on what your job is in the church. But for me, it's an indispensable tool because I'm a creator. I'm creating content on a regular basis. It's called Awesome Screenshot, and let's see. I'm going to bring it up here in the web store. Oops. That's the video recorder, which is cool. Awesome Screenshot. There we are. Okay, so Awesome Screenshot, and I'm gonna let me go somewhere. I'll jump over to Facebook. How about that? Let's see what's going on Facebook. Okay, so on Facebook, let's say there's this little thing here, this happy friend anniversary between me and my buddy Clint. Let's say I need to do something with this, whether I need to put it on a slide for church, or I need to email this to somebody, or do whatever. The contents of this screen here, basically, I need to capture as a screen capture and then do something with. Awesome Screenshot, and it's right up here. It's this little extension that runs in Google Chrome. I click on it, and then I choose how I want to capture the screen. So I could capture the entire page. Now, if I did it with Facebook, it would take forever because it would just keep loading page. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do capture visible part of the page, which means what you see on the page will get captured. I'm going to hit it, and boom, there it is. Now, if I need to, I can mark it up. It's got some tools that let me say, look, here we are, and look, here you are again, and there you are with the pencil up your nose. And then I can hit done, and there's the image, and then I can save it, I can copy it, I can print it, what have you. So it's really useful. One of the things that I use it for is, like in this episode of the show, I've been showing you live, because I've got my switcher set up to do that, the tools that I'm using. Justin's tools, he's not sharing his screen, so the times that I'm showing you the tools that Justin has been using, then these are screen captures that I have done using Awesome Screenshot. And then in video, I just take that image and I put it on the screen, and then I've just kind of been scrolling it up nice or zooming into a certain area to show you that. That's what I use Awesome Screenshot for. What can you use it for? What do you need to use it for? Do you need to do a screenshot of a web page, of your church's web page to show in an email? Or do you need to have it as a part of a presentation? Or do you need to print it out into a manual for whatever reason. You see what I'm saying? You've got the ability to take what's on your browser, make it into a JPEG, and then do something with it. And that's what Awesome Screenshot lets you do. Have you ever used it? Justonian?
Yes. Yes, I have it on my Chrome right now. In fact, I was up until this year, I was a whatever you call a paid member. I think it's only like $20 a year.
Yeah.
Which is amazing. Another great thing is it'll do screen recordings, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
For the free version, I think you get up to 20 seconds. So if you just need to show someone, hey, when you're at the booth computer, click this button or whatever, and you need to show them how to do it. That's an easy way to do it ahead of time and just email it to them.
Yep. Yep.
So
it's really cool.
With the free version, I think you get only 20 seconds or 30 seconds, but it's plenty if you just need to do a quick tutorial. And if you need to, just take a couple videos.
Right.
So really simple, and the markup is amazing. Yeah, I have that on my Chrome too.
Yeah. Very good. What's your last one?
My last one is a really quick one. It's called Pocket.
Pocket. I like Pocket.
As in, hey, you dropped your pocket. That old prank we used to play. Yeah, and the website is actually getpocket.com, I think. Let me double check that. But basically what Pocket is it's kind of like a save to read later tool.
Yes.
So if I come across an article, and I'm sure we've all been there, we have projects going on. I know I have things that I need to take care of during the day at that time. But I always have my Twitter feed open, and I see an article come by, or maybe an email comes in and says, hey, check this out. I think this would be good for us to try one Sunday. I don't have time. I need to focus on what I'm doing. So I will save it to Pocket. Pocket is a place to save anything that you want to read later, basically. And it's a Chrome plugin. They have an app as well, so you can just if you're on your phone and you see a Facebook article and you're like, this sounds really great, but I'm not in the mood to read something for work. Again, you can save it to Pocket, and when I come in the next morning, it's on my Chrome browser, and I can just read it then. So it's a great way to save what you're doing or what you want to read for later. But also a really cool tool is you can use if this then that, or another tool that will take some automation, and you can actually use Pocket to create a curation depository. That was a long word, but basically to save things that you want to tweet out or share on Facebook. So say you read a really great Francis Chan article and you say, that's great, I want to share that to the church Facebook. You can save it to Pocket, and then Pocket, you can set if this then that or any other automation tool to say, hey, if there's something in Pocket, share it out to the Facebook.
Yeah.
So that way you don't have to copy the link, go into Facebook, go to the page, create the thing, and you just save it to, you just one button, save it to Pocket, and then the automation tool will say, hey, there's something in Pocket, let's send it out to Facebook.
Very cool.
So that's a really great tool. There's a couple others that do that. Pocket has, again, it's the simplest one, it's the easiest one to use, and I really like it. And sometimes, I'll see something and I say, I want Dave to see that, so I'll put it in Pocket. Because it's like 10 o'clock at night. I don't want to message him at 10 o'clock at night with something that can
but
wait till tomorrow.
He
so
does.
So I don't forget it, and then I can just send it to him later.
That's awesome. Yes, Pocket is cool. I really, really dig Pocket. My last one is dominantly Mac only. However, what Evernote has done with their web clipper kind of lets you have it anyway, whether you're on a different platform. It's called Skitch. And I'm going to, I'm going to show you Justin's head, and then I'm going to move Skitch over it. There you go. This is Skitch, and what Skitch is a screen capture and annotation piece of software. If you guys are CTA Live members, then you have seen me use Skitch. CTA Live, CTA Insiders, if you are insiders. When I get a question about a piece of software, say like OBS or something like that, how do I do this, or where do I do this in this piece of software? I will open up the software, go to where it is, and then use Skitch to grab the image and then draw some arrows and put some type and show it to you. And I'll do that right here, actually. So I've got Skitch running, and I'm going to click the thing that says get a screen capture, and I'm just going to come and grab this. Perfect. Now, I just did a screen capture, and it grabbed a picture of the OBS thing. Now, what I can do is I can say grab the arrow key, and I can go like that, and I can go like that, and I can grab the text, and I can type in Justin, and I can come over here and type in some text, Dave. And then I can move these things around as I need, and let's see. I've used this with Chris Oshinsky a lot, and I've said, these are your scenes in OBS. Add new scenes here. You see how easy this is? And then, let's see, it's kind of hard for you to do it. I'll just kind of shrink it just a little bit. There you go. But like down here at the bottom, it says PNG or JPEG. I can click that and drag it, and now I have the actual image, and I can take this and drop it into Instant Messenger or into a Facebook field, just like I would drop an image in, and let it do its thing. And it is the coolest tool, period. I love Sketch. I love it. I love it. I love it. Most of the flexibility that Sketch has is built into an add-on or a browser extension for Chrome called Evernote Web Clipper. Evernote bought Sketch and sort of rolled its functionality in. So if you have Evernote Web Clipper, what it allows you to do, remember on Evernote I was showing you the like my cable bills. I've got the folder for this year's cable bills, and because I write off a portion of my cable bill because I have a home-based business. What I do is after I pay the bill and I get the little summary there at the end, I use Evernote Web Clipper, and it basically takes everything on that web page, turns it into an image, and then saves it and files it in Evernote for me. When it does that, I have the ability to go in and mark it up if I want, just like I did in Sketch. So anyway, Sketch is really, really cool. There's alternatives to Sketch as separate apps available for Windows. I haven't played with any of them, but I'll put a list to some of the ones that other folks recommend in the post. But Sketch is great. The ebooks and stuff that Justin and I make, a lot of the screenshots and all that that have images with text written on them and stuff like that, where we're showing you guys things. The blog posts, all that sort of stuff. Sketch like crazy. That's what I'm using. So if you're on a Mac, grab it. It's awesome. You ever use it?
I have not, but actually watching you use it makes me want to use it, because I realize it's what a lot of my favorite bloggers are using. Just seeing the stroke that it puts on, the arrows and the letters, I realize, oh, that's what Neil Patel is using. Now I really want to use it because I see you using it, and I use a different app right now, but it's a paid app. So I definitely want to experiment with Sketch and see how it compares.
One of the things I'll show you real quick. One of the things that I like about Sketch is it integrates with Evernote. So everything that I do automatically gets thrown into Evernote. So if I go into Evernote, which I'm not going to right now, but if I go into Evernote, I'll see every single one of these. But what's really cool is everything that I've done in Sketch shows up in here. So, I needed here's something. I needed an image of me that I was using for a thumbnail or something. So I went into the video, found a good part where my eyes were both open and my mouth was almost not doing something weird, and just grabbed it and dropped it in here, and now I have this image that I can use. Various and sundry things that I've done over the time is all right here, and I can come back to it. So there have been times when Justin says, how do I use this, or how do I do this or something? It's like, you know what? I showed how to do this a while back, so I'm just going to go grab the image here, and I'll just drop it into the chat for Justin. Anyway, Sketch is awesome, guys. I really love it. So we'd like to know what your tools are, okay? So let us know in the comments. Tell us what you're using. Tell us what are your most indispensable tools, the things that help you get things done, the things that help your day go smoother, the things that you think are just so stinking cool. How did you ever live without it? Let us know what those are in the comments, please. Thank you guys so much for watching. Justin, thanks again for being here. I love doing the show with you. I love having you here. Thanks for riding herd over these cats for the last couple of weeks while I've been sick and out working on other projects and stuff. I really appreciate you filling in there. And guys, if you are looking to add live streaming to your ministry in any way, if you've ever thought about live video, if you ever thought, I would love to do something live whether it's in the moment or whether it's, like right there as it's happening, or like the broadcast of the service or anything like that, in any way, size, shape, matter, or form. If you've ever wanted to do anything like that, then I would encourage you to go to easylivestreaming.com, and you can get our free guide called Live Streaming for Churches the Easy Way. And we will show you how you can get started live streaming, how you can add live streaming to your ministry right now. There's 4 basic modes of live streaming. 2 of them you can do now with just your phone. It's really cool, and I highly suggest that you go see what's out there, because once you add live streaming to your ministry in all of its various forms, you will find your interaction in the online space going up. You'll find interaction on your Facebook page going up greatly, and that's exactly what we want when it comes to Facebook. Wouldn't you say, Justin?
Yep.
Are you there? Are you there? Hello?
Yeah, I had my mic muted.
Sorry. Okay, you're still on the screen. Okay, and you muted it again.
I don't have anything else to add.
You keep muting it.
I know, I keep muting it. I'm a heavy breather, so I always mute my mic when I'm not talking.
I was going to keep you on here for the awkward factor.
No, I'm with you. Yeah, that's man, live video is where it's at. So if you have never tried it or don't know what's going on, definitely check that resource out.
Are there anything in the notes, anything in the chat room? Anybody have any questions or anything that we can address before we go?
No, we've been getting a lot of just, I use those. I use those apps, or man, that app sounds like it's handy. I know Tommy is all over wanting to know how to spell these apps, because I think he wants to jump in on it. Tommy did just say he uses the most Corel Video Studio.
Oh yeah. Yeah, their video editor.
I've never used that before. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, it's been around for a long time. Yep, that's their video editor. Okay, cool. Okay. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Justin and I really appreciate it. We couldn't do the show without y'all. It's great having live interaction while we're doing this for you. I'm going to get this all edited and cut up, and we're going to get you links to all the different apps and all that sort of stuff. And guys, be sure to let us know what you're using. Let us know if you're using these apps, how you use them. We would love to hear from you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. And take what you've learned today and go out there and start changing lives. All done. That's the show. There's the show. That's your show. All right.
Dave made it, guys. He made it.
Yes, I did. Barely. So, what's happening in the chat room? Anything interesting?
Tim is he literally typed out "ugh Chrome."
Oh yeah. So I was over at Tim's office a couple of months ago, and everything he's doing is in Safari, which is fine.
If Safari had plugins, I would probably use Safari.
Yeah. That's one of the things. It's not as extensible as Chrome is. And yes, Chrome does take up resources. Absolutely. It is a resource hog. The cool thing is that a lot of these plugins, a lot of these extensions are also available on Firefox, and Firefox is a great alternative to Chrome. Everything.
It is.
Everything
I use Firefox at work. It's really my backup whenever I can't. They say like try a different browser.
Yeah.
Then I go to Firefox. I have a couple of extensions in there, but I don't know what it is. Firefox just seems a little bit more clunky. And the thing that keeps me coming back to Chrome is using my Google account.
Yeah.
It's integrated in Chrome, so my bookmarks sync across everything. I even started using Chrome on my phone just because the bookmarks automatically sync over.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. It does. I like using Chrome. It is resource intensive. And when we say resource intensive, the more tabs you open up, the heavier it gets. So one of the things you can do is limit the number of tabs that you have open. I only have, three or four or five, at any given time. Sometimes it really gets out there and stuff. But, if the machine starts to bog down, I start closing out tabs. And that definitely helps. And you can always close out of Chrome and then relaunch it. But yeah, the Google services do bog down sometimes. But if you've got a beefier machine, then it's negligible. You won't really notice it. All right, dude, you gonna head out?
Yeah, I got a few more minutes. I requested a longer lunch today just because we were both here finally after 3 weeks. So I was like, let me take a little bit longer of a lunch. So I have a few more minutes if anyone has any questions or anything. Jordan said he has like 40-day abs. I don't
40
know what
day.
that's in reference of.
40-day abs. I think Justin will have to
40-day
show
abs.
us his abs
That
sometime.
sounds like our next lead magnet.
Yeah.
40-day abs by Church Training Academy.
Yes, with Jordan on the cover.
Yes, exactly. We'll Photoshop if we have to.
Yes. We definitely have to Photoshop if it was you and me.
You meant tabs.
Oh.
You meant abs. 40-day abs would have been better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just use Chrome. In fact, at work, I mean, it's a workstation, so I have like 16 gigs of RAM and then 2 video cards. So at work, I never have less than 12 tabs open because all of our tools are either Office 365 or things like different portals and work apps that I need to have open and jump through because it's a call center. So I get a call that someone needs to unlock their computer. I need to have that portal ready to pull up. So I never have less than that. And it does use a lot of resources, but I get it. I get it. I used only Safari on my phone until I finally gave up and was like, I just want everything to sync over. So I just went with Chrome. And I just checked right now. I have 73 tabs open.
Are you kidding? Right now you do?
Not on my computer, on my phone.
Gosh. I was going to say, man.
Yeah, so that doesn't really count. Let me check Safari. I know one time I opened it, I had like 400 tabs open or pages open on Safari.
Gosh.
Yeah, Safari is only 68.
Only 68.
Yeah, because I open tabs and I open pages and I never close them.
That's funny.
I just click a link and it opens a new page. All right, Tommy says, great and informative show today on
Thank
YouTube.
you.
I saw you just jumped on Facebook. So I appreciate you guys watching. Appreciate you guys sharing as well. That's great. Yeah, Chrome is easy to understand.
I'm curious, is anybody watching us over at YouTube?
Yeah, we had a few. We had Caving in Colorado. I don't know who that is. You know who that is?
Caving in Colorado, that could very well be Clint Locks. That could very well be my buddy Clint. Maybe not. Caving in Colorado. That's awesome.
Yeah, he said some amazing good tips, and he had to leave a little bit early, so I think it was just Tommy on YouTube. But
yeah, very good.
Pretty cool.
Awesome. All right, guys.
All right. Well, before we go, does anyone else have any other questions? I'll take that as a no. No,
awesome.
I don't see anyone typing anything.
Awesome. Very good. All right, guys. Thank y'all a lot. We appreciate you being here. Thank you guys for sharing. Be sure when we publish this, and we'll share it out to the CTA page, and then we'll share it out to our individual pages. Be sure that you guys go and share the podcast and the articles and all that sort of stuff, and spread the word about what we're doing here, guys. Thank y'all so much. Have a absolutely fantastic, wonderful weekend.